My name is Ed Frawley. My wife and I own Leerburg. Normally I do these Q&As that come into Leerburg.com through the Ask Cindy portal, but every now and then I'll pull a video out of one of our online courses. It's about training the Yuck command, or drop it or leave it or whatever you want to call it. I don't care what word you use. I call it training the Yuck command, which is teaching a dog to spit out whatever he's got in his mouth. And it came out of our basic dog obedience course, but the caveat before I do this and show you this video is that our basic dog obedience video and course is actually one of the first dog training courses I did back in the 1980s. And since then, I have completely redone it, I want to say 4 or 5 times. And it's designed for people that get a dog that's not a puppy, and in a lot of cases, barely an adolescent, but it's for people that get a little bit of an older dog. Because the reason I bring this up here is that we start teaching our puppies the Yuck command from the time they're 8 weeks old. And the way we do that is not what's in this video. You're going to hear me talk about how to approach, say, someone that gets a 6, 8, 9, I don't care how old, an adult dog that doesn't have the training. That's not how we do it with puppies. And the reason it's so important, when we raise puppies at our house, it's one of the first things we do, is we teach those puppies not to pick things up and swallow them, because you know what they like? Rocks. Puppies like rocks. They must think that they taste like steak. And you know what happens when you get a puppy that eats rocks? It plugs their guts up, and if you don't fix it, it can kill them. And to fix it's going to cost you a couple $1,000s. I teach how to deal with puppies in our puppy courses. But this video you're going to watch right now is out of our basic dog obedience course, which is for a little bit older dogs. So with that said, I want to make it clear, if you like the information in the video, go to Leerburg.com, look at our basic dog obedience video. It's how we train dogs today, not how I trained dogs back in the 1980s. So in this segment, I'm going to talk about what I call the Yuck or the leave it command. It's probably the second most important command, next to or right behind the recall. And the reason is, first of all, what it is when my dog goes to pick up an old dead bird, I say yuck or leave it. I expect that dog to walk away from that or spit it out and come my way. Now there's a couple of ways to train this. I've always trained it the old-fashioned way of put a prong collar on my dog, take it for a walk, keep it on a long line. If I see that it's going to get into something, say yuck, little pop on the prong collar, turns, I reward the dog. The dog learns that if he turns when I say yuck or leave it and comes to me, it'll get a nice high-value food reward. If need be, I'll set the scenario up where I'll lay things out where I'm going to walk the dog that I think are going to draw the dog in. You know, an old steak bone is a pretty strong motivator to get the dog to come in. But keep in mind, whatever we reward with has to be a higher value to the dog than the piece of garbage that we have or we put out there. So in other words, you would never want to put out a steak bone and then try and reward the dog with a dog biscuit. You have to think about high value food rewards, and we call them competing motivators. And by that I mean the distraction has to be a lower level distraction than what you have for a high-value food reward. So keep that in mind when you do this. We just saw this with one of our instructors, Tammy McLeod, was here at Leerburg for a seminar a few months ago, and I like the way that she did it. We're going to show you what it looks like with videotape that was filmed right in the seminar.
First thing is I want you to walk a circle where you have your dog in front of you, right? Okay. As if you're doing a backwards front. And you're just going to be a human pest dispenser here. When she's following you, you can just be yes and rewarding as you're walking around. But you have to keep your leash short enough to where she can't dive bomb on that. Okay. This is always going to be more exciting than what you have in your hand typically. So we want to make sure that she's paying attention to you. So just tell her, let's go and pay yes rewards. Good. Yes reward. And you don't have to correct her, you just kind of, just that. Yes. Make sure you're marking it. I don't hear any markers.
Yes.
So the yes needs to come before the presentation
Yes.
of the food.
Okay.
She's looking at you. Yes, that's what I want. And then a reward. Yes, perfect. Now go the other way because dogs are learned visually, right? You change the direction, all of a sudden it changes the picture and she can't do it. She'd look, make a little sound, shorten her leash.
Yes.
Good job. Very slow. Very slow. Yes, good. Just keep doing that.
So you're laughing at me.
And you're gonna do this until you're almost able to walk over this tree.
Yes.
Tammy. Good job.
Tammy.
There we go. Ah, you're awesome.
Tammy does it motivationally, and it's a nice way to do it. So I'm going to leave it up to you. Do you use the prong collar and the old-fashioned, leave it or yuck, pop it, and how hard you pop it depends on the temperament of the dog and the age of the dog? Or do you set it up and do it the way Tammy does it? I like both. In the next video, you're going to watch Cindy working Maybe and Magnum on the Yuck command. This is not a difficult exercise to treat. We've put some Happy Howies on the floor there. That's the white object. And when Maybe looks at it and pays attention, Cindy simply says yuck. And then when Maybe turns and comes back to her, she rewards her with a higher value food reward
Walk around it.
than what the Happy Howies is.
Walk in a circle around it. Three rep Maybe. Show her 3 times and that's the end of it.
Yes. Yuck. No. Good. Maybe.
That's a hard one.
Yes. I mean, I would say the first few reps are good.
Yeah.
The thing is, maybe he's obviously a well-trained dog. Now, this is an advanced exercise that you can do
Maybe, please.
when you're comfortable with your dog understanding the yuck command.
How are you? I'm still home. You're slobbering. You're slobbering. Okay. Wait. Leave it. Yes. Why? Leave it. Yes. Good boy. Good. That might be a little hard. Leave it. Yes. Leave it. Hey. Leave it. Yes, good boy. That's it, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what a good job. Leave it. Yes. Boy. You're adorable. Good boy. That's a good boy.
I think this gives you an idea on the kinds of things you can set up with your dog to teach it the leave it or the yuck command. As you see that your dog is starting to understand what it is, and then he ignores you, then you start to layer in corrections. And remember,
How hard the correction is depends upon the age and the temperament of your dog. The goal being to get a behavior change. So if you only need to raise your voice a little bit and say, no, leave it, that may be enough. It may be that you have to give the dog a leash correction with a prong collar on. I can't tell you, no one can tell you how hard to correct your dog unless they're standing there and they watch the dog in training.